Well, I'm not going to chew gum the whole time. Welcome. I'm doing this on Stream Yard, so there's no. It's a very myself. Welcome, fellas. It's CRAPSHOOT Sunday. I appreciate you being here, hanging out with me a little bit. WrestleMania Day 2 starts in about an hour and 10 minutes. You know, I might watch a little bit of it. Not entirely sure. I want to see the Logan Paul thing. I'm not a Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns guy. I'm bummed about the Becky Lynch fight. It's so stupid to be bummed. It's all fucking scripted. We know that. But I still like Becky Lynch more than Rhea Ripley. So, you know, it is what it is. But welcome to CRAPSHOOT. It's the show where we talk about pretty much whatever you want related to geek stuff, game stuff. I mean, you know, I'll talk about whatever because that's I'm a jabberbox. I'm a flibber to gibbet. But you know, you can call in. I'll put I don't know if you can do pin links. Let me see. If you want to call in a little bit, I'll put the invite down here. I sure do wish that this would, if I could pin that. Let me see if I can do that real quick. I favored it. Maybe if I put it there. Nope. How about there? It's better than nothing. We'll figure it out. So yeah, we'll talk about whatever you guys want. I have topics, of course. This is not a proper Gabbin' and Games, although yesterday's Gabbin' and Games goes live to everybody, not just members, tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Hopefully you'll check that out. Jaffe says, Benji M, did you see the nod to Jim Ryan, the bubblehead? Yeah, but I've said many times before about the PlayStation Stars thing that I'm not a big fan. I would become very much engaged in that system if you know, like everybody else, if there was like a collector's trophy area on the PS5, I could go to the things, I could zoom in, I could rotate them. You know, there were limited ones, I could share them, I could sell. You know what? It's just right now, it just kind of feels like, boy, I get to go to my phone. Now, the PS Stars program is great in terms of making money or fake money or points or whatever, because you can buy some, you know, I've probably got 3 full $70 games I can buy with that shit. But in terms of the trophy stuff, I think they're this close to making something really cool, like the Jim Ryan bobblehead. But I'm just like, what? Wow, it's on my phone, everybody. Come over and look at Jim Ryan. I'm like, fuck you. But if I could like go to people's, you know, accounts and go, oh, let's see what Benji Martinez has on his, and I'm like, oh shit, where'd he get the Jim Ryan bobblehead and shit? I mean, that would be cool. And I cannot imagine, and what I'm saying is not clever. I have to assume that is the plan, but it's like, Jesus, it's been going on for 2-3 years. How long is it going to take? Can we have more P Turtle? That's really up to P Turtle. If P Turtle wants to call in. Have I tried Balatro? God damn it, Maverick. Have I tried Balatro? Yeah, I did. I like it a lot. It's very, very, very good. As everybody knows now, I played the demo back in the day, and then I bought the game day 1. I've been playing a lot of other things, though. I don't think I got my fill of it with the demo, but I played so much the demo that I'm trying to catch up on some other new things, like Pepper Grinder just came out, which is a brilliant platformer. There's a very teeny tiny, you know, just micro budget game called Slice and Dice on Steam, which is kind of like a rogue dungeon crawler with dice. It's quite fun, quite cool. I'm digging that. Addy Pie says, do you have any insider info on PlayStation Showcase next month? No, I really don't. I mean, they haven't even announced it, right? But the rumor is, and it makes sense, that they're going to do a May PlayStation. I always get these mixed up. You guys seem to actually know and care about the definitions. There's a showcase and a state of play. State of play is just when they show a bunch of trailers, right? But a showcase is what? A deep dive, or it's hosted by, I don't know what the difference is, but my guess is, or my guess based on the rumors is, there's an Astrobot possibly, there's a Gravity Rush and an Until Dawn remaster possibly. And then what did they say? And Silent Hill is probably going to get some screen time. So, you know, I'll be talking about this on tomorrow's Gabbin', but I'm fascinated by this phase of PS5 because If you look at Ronin and Stellar, which I loved the demo, I think that's going to do decent for them. And obviously Helldivers, which is an insane phenomenon. Ronin's not doing that well. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's not doing that well. It's like, it was like its second week, it was already down at like number 20 when it premiered at number 5 on the charts. The reviews are fine. It has its fans. But that said though, I like this batch of games. I like the Stellar Blade, the Ronin, and the Helldivers because they're new, even though I know they're not all or none of them are first party, but they're second party at the moment. They're new. And none of them feel like they've broken the bank financially. They just feel like they're embracing games. And then I like that if coming next State of Play for the end of 2004, if we get an Astrobot and it's a full featured platformer for once, hopefully it's not a PSVR 2 game. And if we get the Silent Hill, I have very little faith in, not just because the developer, but also because of Konami's output with Silent Hill recently. And Contra, both, you know, they say they want to get back in. They say they want to really make their legacy titles big again, but they can say that all day long. But the proof is in the pudding, and the pudding so far has been kind of at best and disgusting. If you're thinking of Amazon's coming, they're delivering. Calvin ordered some sound stuff for his guitar and his computer, and that's probably them dropping it off the front door. Okay, relax. But anyway, yeah. So I'm not. What was the game they put out? The online Silent Hill something Ascension or whatever it was, which was abysmally dull. And then the little first person short Silent Hill, the note or the letter or whatever was dull. So I don't know. I don't know if I agree with these fine folks when they say they really do want to jump back into the mix. Poor Degenerate. Thank you, buddy. Look at this old motherfucker rolling up in his nightgown and his cup of coffee saying, I love you, Jaffe. Poor Degenerate, I love you as well. 20 months as a member. That's a lot of generosity, buddy, and a lot of ducats, and I appreciate it. I think we need PS5 Pro. God, I don't care. I don't mean that disrespectfully to your question or your comment, Armin. Cal, did it come? Yeah. You excited? Huh? It smells like weed? Well, that's either the driver or that's what happens when you order music shit from anywhere. Okay, so let me know if you need any help. PS5 Pro, I don't, you know, man, I'll tell you something. I just cannot manage to get excited. Like, I am not one of these guys that has ever been, and again, I'm not here to tell you that you shouldn't enjoy your consoles if that's what you like, but I just can't fathom at this point why people give a fuck about PS5 Pro. Everything is on PC or will be on PC. People are like, yeah, but I don't like playing in front of a monitor. I want to be on a couch. That's been solved by numerous programs, including Steam, big screen. If streaming works for you, especially now that I can stream and I don't even think that I'm streaming, I don't even notice any limits. The idea of getting excited because PS5 Pro is going to be like, everybody gets ray tracing. It's like, who cares? I don't mean that disrespectfully. I care, Jaffe. I get it. I'm just saying that, you know, if I'm in the market for a PS5 Pro and I'm able to save up the $600-$500 it costs for that, how, you know, especially if you live in an area with decent streaming, how long before you can save up another $400, $300, $200 to get a okay computer that you can stream to, or save up another $1,500 and just get a computer. There's so many more games you're missing out on if you're playing. So I don't mean to be disrespectful, Armin, about the PS5 Pro, but that audience seems so misguided to me, because the people who seem really interested in performance, which is why you would buy a PS5 Pro, you'd think they would already have gone over to the side of the PC stuff. But, you know, will I ever go back to playing Call of Duty? Yeah. In fact, I was I certainly want to play the new one, the Gulf War one coming out, but I did see a bunch of the new stuff for season 3, and I want to play the campaign. I haven't played it. I know it's short. I do want to get back to it. I've been busy with so many other things. Hang on a sec. All right. Jaffe, is Kuba right about his God of War theory? I don't know who Kuba is, Da Vinci. He claimed Deimos was supposed to be a captive of Hades. Man, I don't even know. That's the brother, right? All I know, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't mean that like dismissively. I'm just saying I don't. All I had to do with the brother was like, I think that's the brother, was, he was going to be a big bad guy at some point because he was abandoned in the woods by Kratos, and that's mostly as much as I thought about it. I'm sure there was some stuff in 2, but I've already forgotten. I don't know. Addy Pie says, I think Stellar Blade's going to do phenomenally well. Hang on, I got a burp coming. Come on, come on now. I don't know about that. Not because I don't like it. I didn't love the demo. I don't want to oversell it, but I really enjoyed the demo. I thought it was a lot of fun. But I don't think it was as good as Devil May Cry, right? Or Bayonetta. It might be, but my point being is that games in that genre that are, I think most people would agree are better, even though this was great, are still niche titles. Like Devil May Cry is known, but Devil May Cry was never Resident Evil. So I think it'll do well, but phenomenally well. I would be surprised by that, but we'll see. But I don't think it has anything to do with the Tempest in a Teacup stuff people are talking about. Like, oh, it's because the sex stuff. It's nobody cares about that. I mean, there's a small little group that does. Oh, I have to tell you guys something real quick in a minute, but hang on. Let's get through some of these chats first. Yeah. You think it'll sell as well as Ghost Tsushima? No, I don't think so. Okay. Dougie Jones says, Jaffe, currently alpha testing a new AI render engine that generates photoreal outputs from 3D geometry. Yeah, that sounds awesome. Currently alpha testing a new AI render engine that generates photoreal outputs. So explain that a little bit better to me, because do you mean if I input a 3D Eiffel Tower, what does it do? I mean, it's already 3D, right? So what does the AI contribute to it? I'm not quite sure. Okay. Do I think Hellblade 2 has gone through management hell? It's supposed to not be longer than the first game. I don't know, Addy Pie. I have no idea. Hello, Vince. I really don't know. I'm not tossing your question in the trash. I just have no clue. Okay. Here, listen to this. Listen to this. I got to tell you something real quick. Thoughts on boob sliders. I don't know what that is. You mean like in a game, Brad, where you can make the boobs bigger or smaller? Great. What do I care? I mean, I'm quite happy. Like Stellar Blade, for example. I don't need them to be any bigger, but if you want to slide it and make it bigger, that's great. Enjoy that. But I think that's fantastic if developers want to put it in. Z Black Rider, Jaffe, why are you looking younger than me? I don't know. I don't know what you look like. I'm looking at your avatar and it's really tiny. Listen to this. I saw this documentary last night, fellas, on Netflix called The Antisocial Network. And I never spent much time on 4chan, certainly not on 8chan. It just, it seemed kind of a scummy place by the time it came to my attention. But it's a whole documentary about how 4chan started and how it went from being this kind of outsiders club where people were fucking around and influencing culture with memes and jokes and just trolling to sort of how eventually it was a pretty key accelerant that helped give rise to the mindset of January 6th. What I did not understand was the whole anonymous thing that they eventually revealed who was anonymous. I must have missed that that memo. And the other thing I didn't know was the whole QAnon, that they revealed who that was. And it's like, I didn't know that either. I knew what QAnon was. But when you've got people on the documentary saying, well, yeah, we made this up and here's how we did it, and they showed all this stuff that they were trying to make it clear. One of the examples they used in the movie was really interesting, where apparently at some point Q tweeted this thing and it ended with like 3 crosses or X's or addition signs. And then like 2 minutes later, 3 minutes later, Trump tweeted something out and he ended his with those 3. And so everybody was like, see, that proves that QAnon is, in the Trump camp, and he's sending Trump orders and messages and Trump's reading them. And then they went back and said, no, all we did was we changed the timestamp. So just nobody thought to question it. So Trump's tweet went out first, and then 40 minutes later, Q's went out, but Q's went out not actually as a tweet, but as a tweet of a tweet where they had gone in and changed the timestamp. So it looked like Q's came first. And I was just like, I didn't know any of that. It's a really interesting documentary. It's fascinating and kind of sad and kind of hopeful. And, I didn't know this. I did not know this stuff. So if you're interested in that kind of malarkey, that is up. Just hit Netflix this weekend. I recommend it. It's from the same group that did the documentary. I think it was called Feels Bad Man, about Pepe Le Pew. No, come on. I know it's Pepe the Frog, which was also a good documentary. So hello, John Barnett. What's up? No, just shooting shit with you guys. CRAPSHOOT is what we call it. Yeah. And I'm doing that. And I got WrestleMania on a little screen over here. The only real fight I'm looking forward to is the Logan Paul fight, because I think he's genuinely charismatic and fun to watch. Did you end up watching Late Night with the Devil? We almost went to see it, and then it's like, oh, it's going to be on Shudder in a week and a half. And so we were like, let's wait and go see Immaculate. And then everybody's talking about The Omen. So I might do an Immaculate Omen double horror feature later this week. Jaffe, actually, no, Eric, you are in timeout. I'm not answering your questions right now. And if you don't know why you're in timeout, go up and look at one of your previous questions, you fucking troll. A Ninja Gaiden reboot. No, that's Eric's. I'll answer Joe though. Not Joe. Yeah, Joker. Ninja Gaiden reboot will be cool. I'm thinking about that. The only reason I'm kind of pausing is there's so many games out now like that, that I wonder if it really still has anything but nostalgia to speak for it. Wolong or Wulong, whatever it's called, was very similar, I thought, but better. I don't know. We'll see. But we'll see. We'll see where it goes. Stoner Joe, good to see you, buddy. Good to see you, sir. You're curious about the Fallout series, Joe. Here's what I'm thinking, man. Here's what's confusing me about this is as I was going over to hook up WrestleMania on the Peacock, my God, there are so many fucking movies and shows. And I don't mean that. I don't know. How do I put this? I need to find a way to reconcile how I consume media, which includes games, because I absolutely adore video games and TV and movies and all of this shit. But there's too much. And I don't mean that like it should be taken away, but I'm just like, I don't know like how to feel about the fact that I never finish games. Like I'm playing Dragon's Dogma 2 and I'm playing Unicorn Overlord, and I love them both. But I'm at this point going, I got it. And it's not that I don't think it's me. I appreciate that I have the ADD. I know that's part of it. Okay. But I think it's also just something is wrong with this medium. The content takes too long to get through. And I don't think it means the games are better because of it. Like I saw somebody today post on our Discord that somebody finish Final Fantasy, what's the new one? Rebirth. And it's like, oh yeah, I put 140 hours into it. And I'm just like, my goodness gracious, who's got the fucking time? Who's got the fucking time? And if you do, there's too many other things. I just don't know how to solve it. How do you guys do it? I mean, do you guys just sit there and just put up with it and go, nope, I'm on this and I'm going to play it till it's done, or I just cannot stand to play it anymore. And then I buy the next game. But I don't want to buy the next game later. I want to buy it now. I want to play it. And then you got all the TV shit. So when you're asking if I've seen any good movies lately, I started watching Roadhouse with Jake Gyllenhaal, and I actually really, really liked it. But then I got busy with 50 other things. I haven't beat Hi-Fi Rush either. I got to the final part and I haven't finished it. Okay, so Dragon's Dogma 2, you can beat in 18 hours. That'd be cool. A few months back, I got a MetaQuest 3 on a whim, says Too Cool, and said you were considering getting one. Have you used it in some capacity every day? Some games are so magical, but there's a lot of junk. No, I haven't even bought one yet because I was fearing that. But more importantly, I use my MetaQuest 2 often, but only for sports, for racquetball. It's like often days that's the only workout I get. So I'll play this racquetball game called NX for about 40 minutes a day, and I love it and it's fun. But no, I don't use it for anything other than that, which is fine. I mean, I think somebody can make bank if they just put out a VR headset that's all about working out in your home, and exclusive the best workout games. I could totally see that, that would be real successful, but, you hated the new Roadhouse. Yeah. I only watched the beginning of it, and I really liked it. So, okay, so this is what Dougie Jones is alpha testing. He says, if you have a 3D scene with an Eiffel Tower, the AI will use the geometry as a guide and render it in any style, aesthetic, lighting. Okay, dictated by the text. Okay, all right, that's cool. That's very, very cool. I'm in. I love stuff like that. I mean, let me tell you something, man. You guys may have seen this if you follow me over on the Twitter, but do I even have it up? I'll show you. Let me share this screen with you guys real quick. Not this one. This is pretty cool though. Have you seen this? Look at this beautiful fucking video game shelf. Let me find the actual tab here. Look at this fucking thing. This is not what I want to show you, but isn't that great? Look at that fucking thing. And those are all NES games mostly. Come on now. Anyway, okay, so I responded first off to just as I respond to art. To this stuff. Somebody posted this stuff the other day and was like, oh, look at these X-Men. These are awesome. And look at Spiderman. They're awesome. And I had no idea this was AI. I had no fucking clue this was artificial intelligence. And then eventually someone said, oh, that's all AI. So I get it. A lot of people don't want that, blah, 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 blah. Don't care. If you showed me a comic book, if you showed your average person a comic book, and you said these were the new X-Men, you would not, and Spider-Man joins in for a few issues, you would know. Don't fucking people like, it's got 3 fingers. Fine. If that's your biggest criticism is, who cares? Fix it. What does matter? God, look at that. That's amazing. I haven't seen a Wolverine that good in ages. Look at Cyclops. When's the last time you saw Cyclops actually look cool? He looks like a Thunderbird character or some such shit. Okay. Anyone who would watch Roadhouse is a cry for help. Perhaps, but I like Roadhouse. I don't give a fuck. Anybody who would assume what someone else thinks of their entertainment media diet and gives a fuck is a cry for help. How about that, bitch? Ha ha! Jesus, do you hear me? Jesus, look what I just did to him. I burned him in the butthole. J Sauce, thank you for the super chat, buddy. He says, Jeffy, whose bullshit idea was God of War 1 Challenge of the Gods and making of unlockable shit that you couldn't fast forward? So God forbid you hit X on accident. Look, bitch, sit down, give me more money. I don't know. Okay, let me tell you real quick, buddy. Thank you for the super chat. God of War Challenge was my idea, but it wasn't, I can't play it. I'm terrible at it. I don't think I've ever beat it. As long as the testers could beat it, I was happy because I knew it was beatable. But that was like for hardcore people. but we wanted to just have some extra content because if you bought the game and you finished it in 12 hours, we wanted to give you something else. The unlockable stuff you couldn't fast forward. Look, man, take a fucking seat, J Sauce. take take a seat because uh what that was about. We were one of the few games at the time that put all that BTS behind the scenes stuff on the disc. So be grateful you got anything. But no, there wasn't a codec at the time, as I recall, to let you fast forward. And the fact that we were playing the video was kind of a bonus. So today I would agree with you, but back then the fact that it was playing, I think, was kind of the main thing that got people excited. Look at this, Mutant Mo, been a member for 34 goddamn months. One of the big voices of our community and purveyors of fine pornography everywhere. I'm not even kidding you. He says, just finished up Final Fantasy Rebirth, had to put it on easy mode to wrap it up. Crazy good time, took 70 hours. That's a long time. That's a long time. I mean, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I just can't fathom. I don't know. Maybe I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I like I said, Mutant Mo. I need to figure out a way to just get comfortable with this. I need to just figure out a way to say I am not going to finish much of anything, but I'm going to play as much as I can as I want. And that's just how I do it, and I'm down with that. I think I have to be. Where is Kirkland Gray? I don't know. He knows he can come on whenever he wants. I put the link up. Kirkland, if you're out there watching, somebody go ping him on Twitter, tell him to get his ass in here. Leveling up a new vocation in Dragon's Dogma always makes it feel so fresh. Well, I haven't even done that yet, right? So when you say that, you mean like I'm playing as a fighter right now, and I know I can change my vocation at any time. Do you mean with the same character? Like, could I potentially be a fighter at level 9 and then say, you know what, I want to be a wizard for a while, and I go into the wherever you go, the guild store or whatever, and you change it? Am I still playing the same narrative and the same story? But I just now I'm back at level 1, so I'm a lot weaker, or I don't know how that works. Didn't you say you were doing a snap thing pre-recorded? A snap thing. Oh, yeah, but then I changed my mind. Okay, you can do that. You should also let your pawn level up different vocations. Yeah, no, they do that. Okay, so you can switch at any time. The story continues moving forward. But are you capable of surviving if you're a level 1 wizard? Okay, because the base stats increase. Okay, I'll try that tonight. That sounds cool. I didn't know you could do that. That's awesome. So yeah, the archer is fun. I'd like to try that. Will I finish Hellblade? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, I got deep into Baldur's Gate, Addy Pie, but I haven't finished it. Okay. I was going to tell you guys about that. Let me go back to the screen real quick. Hang on. Okay. Let me ask you guys a question. I want to show you this. This is not game related, but it's kind of stupid. Right? It's kind of stupid. You've seen, that's me. Look at me. You've seen this, right? Where'd it go? What is this? You've seen this boot camp shit? Does anybody out there watch this and go, this is a good idea? $10,000. Right? We might have seen that one. But then there's the other one that is same group, but they're on the beach with the fucking alpha male boot camp. Let's see, alpha male with the sledgehammers and shit, and it's just this thing. What? I mean, yeah, they failed boot camp exactly by spending $10,000. What a joke. But do you think, though, here's my question to you guys. Do you think, like, what is happening in these people's heads, right? I mean, why are they so susceptible to this gimmick, right? I get that everybody wants to improve themselves. Everybody wants to be better than they are. That's great. But you think this guy somehow has the answers? Why? Just do things that you know are better for you. You don't need this guy to help you work. What's the matter with these people? That's $10,000. Dave Calzone hits the head on the nail. Is that where you hit the head? You hit the nail on the head. I don't know how that works. I'm not very alpha. I don't work with tools. He says, I feel like if you have to tell people you're an alpha male, you're already a beta. Probably true. Yeah, Ravno says yelled at by angry dudes or sexually dominated by sexually. I don't understand what that means, but still. Wallace, thank you, being a member for 4 months. Thank you, pal. I appreciate it. Here's what he says. He says, why was the AI in TM2 allowed to headshot the player with the sniper rifle on hard mode? My friend rage quit twice. Awesome game. Well, you are aware in that game, unless I'm remembering it incorrectly, that when you are in the sights of a enemy who's using the sniper rifle, you have a little input or a heads up display. And so the whole point, unless that's not working, and it should be, the whole point is that if you know you're being targeted, find cover, right? We all look down on people who follow these guys like Andrew Tate. It's not that I look down on them, but I do. It's more to the point of and it's not that I don't understand the desire to make your life better. I do, of course, and get in shape. And then everybody's always doing that. That's wonderful. It's always great to reach for the next run. But I don't understand why this particular activity makes people think, like, what are they're going to come home after they get their diploma, and what is supposed to change? Like, it's all performative. I mean, maybe for a month. It's kind of like when you go to a Tony Robbins seminar back in the day, and it's like, yeah, I believe this shit. And for a couple days, you're walking around like you're going to take on the world, and then your real world kicks back in, and you're like, okay, these aren't really tools to help me with the challenges of life. Yeah, Black Rider says social media is ruining our ability to think. I'm telling you, man, this documentary, I don't want to keep going on about it because it's not for everybody, but this documentary that was on the Netflix, Antisocial Network. It was so fascinating and tragic how easily a lot of these people, like with the Q stuff, the stuff that they were believing, and the stuff that they were parroting back, and it was just these fucking guys totally like laughing their asses off posting this shit. It's, why? I mean, even me with all the shit that I think is absolutely real, I still try my very, very best to keep an open mind and go, maybe I'm wrong about these things. I can be wrong. It's going to take some convincing, but I don't get it, man. I don't get it. So maybe you're right. Maybe we are dealing with just, poorly educated shit. What's a pretty crazy thing to admit, Brad Skagg? That I watched this documentary and these people believe this shit. I don't understand. But again, maybe that's why I don't understand, because you think that's a crazy thing to admit. Good to see Big Boss. Yeah, I don't get that. I don't know if I get what you're saying. But hey, fill me in if you would. I don't mind. 4chan generally made me laugh a lot, but I only ever went there when someone posted a link. Says few people. Well, again, this documentary, that's what it talks about. They're saying, hey, at the beginning of this, it sounded like I missed out on 4chan because it sounds like it was a lot of fun in the first year or two, where it was, fun trolling, and it was clear it was just kind of taking the piss and this, that, and the other. What are you guys talking about? My ex calling your wife fat or strong? What? How big? I didn't say anything about my wife. If I did, I need to go to the doctor. Please tell me you're talking to somebody else in the chat, or I'm losing my fucking mind. Oh my God, that would be so terrifying if I actually was talking about something and I didn't even know I was talking about it. That's okay though. I mean, I don't want to have early onset Alzheimer's or dementia, but I don't know. I figure if I did, I'd just be like, you know what? Let me get one of those pods and go off into the night before it gets. I'd do that. Okay, it was somebody in the chat. Good. I'm like, thank God. I'm like, what the fuck? Anyway, so but 4chan though has gotten so messed up. Right, I agree, Big Boss, and that's what this documentary is about. It's about how it transitioned from what it was to what it is, and now it's like I don't even want to get near that place. It just seems like a septic tank, really. Look at this. I'm not going to go through this whole thing, but I did want to bring it up and show you guys. Check this shit out. Come on now. Oh, let's go big. This guy went through a bunch of comic books on the Internet Archive. Because I was thinking about this recently, because I was looking at my old comics and I was seeing all the video game ads in there. And I'm like, oh, I remember when they had video game ads in print. And so this guy just went through and made a whole collection of ads from video games from the days of the comic books, man. Look at that. There's Cool Borders. Remember that game? That was a first party. They don't make them like that anymore. I always got to have too much simulation. This, not Stargate. I got so excited seeing this. I always loved the art on this that I went and I played this yesterday. I played this on an emulator. It's pretty good, actually. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. War of the Gems. You can play all the characters. Those were the days when it wasn't just like, we only got the rights to Spider-Man. You had all of them. Beautiful art. A lot of fun moves. War of the Gems is pretty good. What else we got? Xenosaga, the first one. Let's see. God, they made games about everything. Spawn. Now this game was pretty good. Now this was actually, I'm almost certain this was first in development at Sony ImageSoft, and it was made by the guys that made Hook and Skyblazer, and we were working with them on it, and for some reason it left us and went to Acclaim. But this is apparently a really good game, and it was certainly good when we were playing it back in the day early when it was in development. What else? Yeah, the 90s video games. You know, I don't know. I don't think there really is ever an era that was better or worse for the most part. I just think it's when you were a certain age. This is when I first started testing. Make your own video, Sega CD. Come on, man. You struggle to put your contempt for the Marvel Overwatch game into words. I don't have any contempt for that game yet. I don't know what it is. I know it's basically Overwatch with Marvel characters, and I know that I am very susceptible to brand, like a lot of people are. And so if they put out that exact same game, he's talking about Marvel Rivals, by the way. If they put out Marvel Rivals, the exact same game, and you were kind of like, play this, Jaffe, I would be like, no, I don't care. But the fact that it's the Marvel characters, fuck yeah. You goddamn right. And that's terrible, but it's true. It's the way it goes. I don't tell you. Laser Invasion. Never even heard of that. That looks like a Contra game. Konami unleashes a combination all-out assault. Okay, it looks like it was a... Oh, okay, so wait. It was... Okay, oh, that's interesting. Okay, so you could be in the jet, and then you landed it, and it became Contra. Has anybody played this? This was an NES game. What the fuck is that? That's cool for the day. I mean, it's cool for today, too, although you can do that now anywhere. Brad says some eras are better than others, similar to film. I didn't grow up with the SNES. Yeah, but I get it. But I think what I'm talking about is I can look at this stuff and feel a great deal of warmth for it, but it has absolutely nothing to do necessarily with the quality of the content. It has everything to do with the nostalgia. But sure, if you were to step back and just look at it at a pure content, emotional less level, I would agree with you. You could probably sit there and go, okay, this was a better year for games than that. But what I like too is that the shit just came out so fast, even though it wasn't as great as like some of the Insomniac Spider-Man games and stuff or Marvel games. It's like, yeah, you would put out like, oh, here's just an X-Men game and it's got all the X-Men. And, 6 months later, oh, here's a Spider-Man game that has Captain America as a playable character and it's got Carnage. And yeah, that's kind of cool. For Shizzle says, you think a game company can come up with better characters than Marvel? You're missing the point though. It's not about, it's not about if a company can design better characters visually or whatever. It's about, Marvel or DC or movies or Star Wars or whatever has done so much work outside of the game that without any work at all, the game has been imbued with this kind of sense of love and curiosity and interest. And so, yeah, I'm sure a team could go out and, create really cool, compelling superheroes that are new, but unless they're just brilliantly written, they're not going to be as powerful at a brand level. Arathisel says, wait, today's games come out so fast you can't even play them fast enough. Yeah, I understand that, but they're not 5 hours, 8 hours long, is the problem. Look at that, Sega Saturn. I remember this deal. They could just never get, there was a Christmas once where they had Daytona, Virtual Cop, Virtual Fighter as a bundle, and they dropped the price like 60 or 70 bucks, and it still didn't. Nobody wanted this. Sometimes, hey, look at that Jet Moto. Sometimes the winds of fortune are just not blowing your way, fellas. X-Men 2 Clone Wars says movie was sweet back in the day. I don't know if I played that one. Let's see what else we got. Iron Helix. I kind of remember that. Just look at Wolverine Adamantium Rage. Yeah, you want the rights to Wolverine? Sure. This was also before Marvel was like, a much in demand company. So it would probably cost you like, all right, give us $120,000. You can have the rights to Wolverine for a game. Web of Spider-Man. Come on, what do we got? Oh, Second Sight. That was cool. Battlefront, which I'm waiting until they improve the servers and shit. But if it's for the remaster, because people playing it say it's not server side authenticated. It's peer to peer. Fuck that. I can't play games like that. Gun was so good. Yeah, Mike Yam worked on Jet Moto. He sure as fuck did. And Warhawk. I had a Saturn, but it only had 2 fun games. I spent 90% of the time playing PS1. Oh yeah, I barely touched my Saturn. I don't even know. I mean, barely. Like it was insanely rare. Metal Gear Solid 2 Substance. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is Substance? It was just kind of like a remaster. I remember obviously Metal Gear 2. I don't remember Substance. Castlevania. Oh God, the N-Gage. Come on, man. Oh, these are good games. Sales are dropping on a per game basis overall, but flavor of the month games are up, says Ravenos. Oh yeah, totally. There's too much to play. Too many things keep you occupied for long. Well, there it is. There's Hook. Man. Funny. All right, let's move on. I don't know if they're disturbing patterns. I don't agree. I don't care if the industry bombs. And I don't mean that disrespectfully, because video games as a thing are not going to go anywhere, right? They're around for the long haul. I was there when the games industry crashed originally, and there was tons to play. You couldn't play it on console, but if you had an Apple or a TRS-80 or a IBM, you could play. There's tons of shit. And frankly, if the industry falls right now, or retracts right now, that's the market saying, I I don't think the market is saying you're making too much good content. We just don't have time. That's part of it. But I think part of it is, you guys are making shit that is really long to play or infinite, like service games, and that's fine. But as an industry, that's not going to be sustainable except for those individual companies that strike gold with it. And I wonder what would come back in its place, because that works, but I have to imagine there are people who want other things in games. But when did the industry crash? In the 80s, 82 or 83 or 4? Was I involved in bearing all the ET copies? No, but I did have ET and I played it and I thought it was not great. I also played Raiders of the Lost Ark, which I loved, but it was just as bizarre and confusing. I did play Panzer Dragoon. Yeah. I didn't love it, but I liked it. Microsoft might be the savior of gaming. Possibly. I mean, I believe in a lot of the shit that they're talking about doing, but I haven't quite pulled it off yet in a lot of ways, but we'll see. Did I ET phone home? I got him home. I got that little fucker home after I fell into a million holes in that fucking game. Absolutely, I did. Okay, so there are too many jobs in game companies. Individual employees should fill 2 to 3 roles to cut costs. Well, okay, sure. No, unless you're saying that the quality would dramatically drop, which would be fine as long as the game quality doesn't drop. But the production value, sure, I agree with you on that. Listen to this. I want to show you this. I want you to tell me what you think. You guys have to have seen this. This guy's pretty viral. He's been going around doing this. I just don't know. I don't know who would agree to this. I'm going to play this for you real quick and we'll talk about it. It's pretty quick. But this is the guy that goes around to couples and says, hey, you want to show us your phones to see how loyal you guys are? What? Watch this. Okay, here you go.
Okay, so look, do y'all trust each other?
Yeah.
Trust her?
Oh, yeah.
Trust her?
Yeah.
You think it's fake, Bad Robo?
That's cool.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's cool with you?
Yeah.
That's his best friend. His mom. His sister. His cousin.
Hold on, so you know everybody through the phone?
Yeah.
Basically, okay. All right, so now we finna go through her phone, man. Huh?
I thought it was only your phone.
Both of you, just making couples to a phone. So both of y'all got to a phone.
Yeah, my phone died. It died. It died. No, it died. It died.
And she turned it
Why
off.
are you gonna tell me it died?
She turned it off. I seen her turn it off, right?
There's no proof it died. No, I'm not.
Then why you hiding it? Your phone was just at 100.
I didn't turn it off.
Just at 100, right? I swear she just turned it off.
How are you gonna believe him over me? You trust me. You trust me. Why are you gonna believe him?
Just in the park, you didn't have your phone.
No, my phone died.
Turn it on. Try to turn it on.
It died. No, it died.
I don't know, man. He passed the test, but she failed.
I passed.
Both y'all together failed.
I mean, okay, you can say it's fake. I don't know. Why would you say? I mean, I'm not saying there aren't people out there who put shit together to make things fake. Of course, that's true. Of course, that's true. But in that case, though, really, you think that's fake? Like, why would that be fake? Look at this one. Zach says, "I'm so grateful I'm not Gen Z. What would he absolutely be impossible to date?" I just think that it's kind of like, Chris Rock has a great line in one of his specials where he says, "A man is only faithful as his options." Now, I don't know if that's entirely true, but there's some truth to it. And clearly that girl looks like she could get anybody she wanted. And the guy looks like he would have some challenges, which is fine. Not a problem with that. Nothing wrong with that guy. But I could see her cheating. I mean, he could cheat too. I don't fucking know. But I don't have 500 people watching on Twitter, Addy Pie. I promise you. The thing is broken. It doesn't work that way. They may have scrolled past it and stopped for 2 seconds, but it's not a consistent number. I don't know why they do it this way. What about this? I'm going to show you one more of these. This is a little bit different. Movie Maniac says, "I knew a sleepy guy who had a girlfriend and also had a second bat phone for the girls he would cheat on her with." Yeah. Oh, she's totally cheating though. Yeah. Listen, I'm of the mind that your phone is your spaces, Geesh, but these guys fish for brain dead crybaby. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I agree. I mean, if you're going to say, yeah, you can look at my phone. No. Look at this. This is another one, but it's a little bit different. Tell me what you think of this and we'll move on from this topic. I just thought these were interesting. Check this shit out, my friends. It's a lady on a date. I'm sure you'll tell me this is fake too, but still.
Well, I really appreciate it. Should I cover my half or?
No, I got you.
You sure? Oh, thank you so much. It was delicious. But I'm going to probably head up because it's late and I have to get up early in the morning. So.
Well, can I walk you to your room?
I don't know if they allow if you're not staying in the room. It'd just be easier if you. But I appreciate dinner and I
get it.
No, it's not like that. No,
It's
this isn't. No, I mean, I don't fuck.
Man pays for dinner.
I don't fuck on the first date, and I feel like you've been kind of like, you've been acting like it this entire time. Like,
all right, you just want a free meal.
No. First off, I have no problem paying for my own bill to avoid something like this.
Go for it. Do it. Fuck it.
Are you serious right now?
Yep, just do it. Pay for your own bill.
You're a fucking asshole. Like, I have no problem.
Okay, right.
Really
So
appreciate it.
I was stunned because you're talking about Gen Z dating, right? I mean, they're older than Gen Z, I think, in that, but of course she's right. The fact that anybody in the chat, and they are in the comments on this, defending that guy, I don't know. What do you mean both were wrong? PK, that's bullshit. How was he in any way anything other than wrong, and how was she in any way other than right? She said, "I'll pay for it." He says, "No, that's okay." Then when he found out she wasn't going to fuck him, I mean, unless she was a sex worker, but I don't think that's the case. The party asking for the date should pay, of course, sure. But that's an almost different thing, and she offered regardless, right? Dinner, a cheap form of prostitution, apparently. It must be to some guys. It doesn't matter if she knows him or not. If she doesn't want him to do anything with her but buy her dinner and go to dinner, and she offered to pay for it. Yeah, I don't get it. And again, I don't know anymore. Here's what you have to understand. Even after watching this 4chan video documentary last night, it's like, I don't know what's real, right? I mean, that's part of the problem. I don't know if even the comments are obviously troll comments. And so who the fuck really knows? Who's upset about what? I don't know. There's got to be a better way to do the fucking internet, man. There's just got to be a better way. Because right now, we just don't get to know what's accurate and what's not. I don't know. Acting like you want it during dinner is a surefire way not to get it, says Movie Maniac. Yeah, that's true. You only saw 60 seconds. What more do you need to see? what more would you need to see there? Even if he was fucking Jesus come back to life, who gives a shit? She don't want to fuck him. Story over. Fuck you, Addy Pie. Yeah, because the thing is called CRAPSHOOT. I don't want to talk about games every show. He says, is there a reason you're showing us these videos instead of talking about games? Let me tell you something, Addy Pie, and I don't mean this disrespectfully to people, but right now, as we live and breathe, the Iron Lords are going, Second Win, which are the guys from The Escapist, are going, and Destin from IGN is going. Do you really need another fucking person sitting in front of a camera and bloviating on a Sunday about video games? I just put up a Gavin and Games yesterday. We're going to be doing game stuff throughout the week. I mean, I'll talk about games. We've talked about games before in this very episode. But what do you want to talk about? What can I do for you? I mean, the chat's wide open. What do you want to talk about? In fact, here, let me put up the invite again. There you go. If you want to call in, whether you want to be on camera or not, is totally up to you. I will pretty much talk about whatever the fuck you want. There it is, right there. Click the link. You can join. And we can talk as pals, like to chat, whatever. Yeah, Addy Pie, call in, you fucker. Oh yeah, it'll be worse as Bad Robo when AI comes in. We'll be flooded with fake videos, right? Come on now. I agree, One Winged Angel. I'm waiting on WrestleMania. I got WrestleMania running up here in the corner, but the card on WrestleMania today is kind of right? It's like, but I've never liked Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns always seemed like a low rent version of The Rock. Cody, whatever, Rhodes seems terribly uninteresting. I want to see Bayley fight that Io Sky lady, and I want to see that's pretty much all I want to see. And Logan Paul. I want to see Logan Paul fight. How are you old so-and-so, says Tatum. I'm good. Sorry I'm late, prepping for WrestleMania night 2. What did you think of it last night? I know The Rock is back. Talk to me about this real quick. The Rock is it a rumor or it's already done that he is going to pretty much purchase or raise the money to purchase the WWE, and it's going to become his company now that Vince McMahon is out? Because it kind of seems like it's going that way, but I don't know how much of that is just kind of the kayfabe. See, I'm in the know. Or how much of that is actual real talk, but I think that would be interesting. You hope Triple H takes over. Isn't he already in charge of creative? Yeah, he's already Rock's already on the board of directors. The Rock may not be able to afford the WWE, although he might, but he can certainly afford getting a group of investors together, and sort of leading that charge, and him being put in the head of the table. But yeah, it is weird. G says, so that's why The Rock was working so hard. It's kind of true, right? It's like, this man makes $30 million a movie. What's he wrestling for? So I don't know. Triple H gave you gay thoughts when you were a teenager. Look, nothing wrong with that, but I'll tell you something that, again, I don't understand. Here, let me just, you can clip this and use this in whatever way you want. I don't care, because I'm sure some people will. I'm confused by my sexuality. How about that? Here's why. Because most men, when they play video games where it's a third person, they pick men. I don't want to look at a man's butt. I don't want to look. I wouldn't. Let's put it this way. Statistics show that if Stellar Blade gave you the choice between Eve or Tacky, I wish, Eve, and then the male Adam, the male version, I guess, which is the guy who drives the drone, most men would pick Adam. Why? It makes no sense, right? Similarly, I'm much more now. If you've got a wrestler like that's freakishly strong, like who's that guy that I thought was going to take off and didn't? Big tall guy, bald guy. He almost like a big tall Bobby Lashley, Osmos or whatever his name is. I thought that motherfucker was gonna just be the next big star. He's not Andre the Giant huge, but I get why you'd want to watch that. Or Ricochet, was insane. Ricochet's still in the company, but Ricochet was like Spider-Man. He would be jumping and flipping, and I'm like, I never seen anything like it. But short of that, don't you want to see like Becky Lynch and Asuka and Kairi Sane and Bailey? Why do you want to watch a bunch of, and again, I don't mean that disrespectfully. If you are into the sport, or if you are a straight woman or a gay man, that's wonderful. Go with God, enjoy that stuff. But I don't understand the appeal if you're watching a bunch of dudes do it versus women. But the women wrestling never, other than the Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, see, I know what I'm talking about, Ronda Rousey day when she was headlining WrestleMania. Other than that, they never do as well as the men. I pick dudes in RPGs, says Zach, because I'm gay. Okay. No, sorry, he didn't say. He says, I pick dudes in RPGs because I'm straight and don't want to have sex with another dude. What RPG forces you to have sex with anyone? Any RPG you can have sex with, I'm pretty sure you can have sex with either sex or any species you want. Buzzati says it's kind of like men admire Indy and don't want to see a female version on screen. It's not that we're attracted to Harrison Ford. I admire Indiana Jones and I love seeing Indiana Jones on screen. But if you told me there was a super sexy version of a treasure hunter, soldier of fortune, or whatever they call them, archaeologist, and it was played by, I'm trying to think who would be really hot. Well, obviously Taylor Swift, but if Sydney Sweeney was going to be the new Diana Jones, I'd fucking watch that. Even though I played Stellar Blade Demo and was so focused on the combat, I wasn't thinking about how hot Eve is. No, I understand. Mammals will generally fuck a tree, says Black Rider. That may be true. Awesome says in WrestleMania, I think the mid-card matches are the most entertaining. I will tell you, when they had the guys from Jackass a couple of years ago come out and compete, that was fantastic. That statistic says Flip is weird for me since we have Lara Croft. Her games are hugely popular. But yeah, some guys fear playing guys. All I'm saying is if you look at like the Resident Evil remakes, Capcom released a here's who people picked. And it was like 86% picked. Who was the guy in 2? Was it Leon or Chris? I don't know. But they didn't pick Claire. Well, I immediately picked Claire. So I don't know. Was that Jojo Diaz on here? Hang on, there he is. He says, if you're honest, it's easy to see that wrestling is a homosexual sport. Half naked guys greased up, grabbing each other to see who gets to be on top. I mean, I'm sure it is that for men who are of that interest, but I have seen male on male wrestling matches where you're like, holy shit, that is like a fucking hell of a cool fight. But I do think there's a point where you do have to kind of go, yeah, maybe there's something there that you're saying, Joe, that's just some truth. Really, Taylor Swift has a sex appeal with broomstick? Go fuck yourself, you fucking virgin. Wrestling is drag for straight guys. It sounds clever, but I don't really know what it means, but I think it might be clever. Okay. Girls with muscles are rarely sexy, says Starscream. I don't agree with that. I absolutely don't agree with that. Depends who we're talking about. Okay, hang on a second. Oh, God damn it. Yeah, T Swift is a goddess. You goddamn right. Look at this. Here's what they don't have anymore. I'll tell you something. When I was at Sony, here you go, Addy Pie. Here's some game talk, you moron. Hang on. When I was at Sony, there was another designer there. He's still in the business. I'm trying to remember. He went to Technicolor. He might still be there, but he's done some stuff since then. But a guy named Chan Park. You know what Chan did? Chan was the head of Giant Robo or Super Robo, the guys who made Battle Royale, PlayStation All-Stars. It was his company. Really good designer, really good idea designer. And he had this idea called Daredevils, I think it was, or Stuntman. It was before Stuntman came out from what's it, who the guys that made the driver game, that Reflections or whatever. And I just thought it was really, really cool. But anyway, point is though, back in the day when I was a kid, I wanted to be a stuntman when I grew up. I used to jump my bike and do all kinds of crazy stunts and shit. But does that exist anymore, or has YouTube kind of taken that over and people just do crazy shit and there's no need for it? This was footage of Evel Knievel, who was just, he's a total racist asshole, it turned out, but we didn't know that when we were kids. And this is footage of the man leaping over, or trying to leap over, the fountains at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas. Let me make sure you can hear it. He was never all that successful, but he was successful in that he was famous. I did watch The Fall Guy, Arathizzle, and Fall Guy, by the way, the movie is apparently pretty good. Really, really funny movie coming out this month. Where's the fun in wrestling if it's theater? I'll answer that in a second. The gestational period of human huzzah, says Dave. Thank you, buddy. Keep up the good work, Chappie. Thank you, buddy. Thank you for the support for 9 months. I really appreciate that. This wasn't 1994. Are we talking about Evel Knievel? Yeah, Evel Knievel and Kiss were awesome. Okay, check it out. Watch this. Here we go. Tune in next week. Like, I mean, how hard is that? He clearly made the jump.
Evel Knievel breaks over 40 bones and is in a coma for 30 days. He never attempted the jump again.
Yeah, no shit.
The legend of Caesars was born.
Right? What the fuck? But they don't do this. Do they do this anymore? Like, does anybody, I want to look that up real quick. Are there still stuntmen daredevils? 10 daredevils who lost their lives doing crazy stunts. Come on now. Oh, I want pictures. Not terrible. I want to see pictures. I don't see them though. You have Jackass. Well, Ravnos, give me a name. Is Vegas cool? It can be. You can kind of overdo it on Vegas. It's good for a couple days. The only real problem with Vegas is that it kind of feels like it kind of feels manufactured now. Like back in the day, and before I went there, I mean, like back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, it was just like the Playboy Mansion. It was a genuine place to go for sort of debauchery and just absolutely crazy behavior. And they've both become so corporatized now that they kind of feel like the Disneyland of that, right? So you can say you go to Vegas and have a wild time, and you can, but the kind of wild time you can have in Vegas is pretty much the wild time you can have anywhere now. It's not as conducive. It's more of a facade of debauchery now, but it's still fun, especially if you like to gamble. Kentucky Fried Movie. Yeah, I saw that again recently, Kentucky Fried Movie. I didn't watch the whole thing. I got a little bored, but I remember loving that as a kid. And then there was the Amazon Women on the Moon, which was the follow-up. It was that, but there weren't stunts in that. Okay, let's see. Jaffe, he's jumping on Harley bikes with no suspension. Okay, you know that. I don't know that. But don't you think he's aware of the bike that he's fucking jumping on, that he would have made sure it was the right bike? One of his last jumps in 94 over school buses. Oh, that was his last? Let's look that up. Hang on. Evel Knievel. He didn't even spell his name like evil. His name is Evel Knievel. That's how you say it. Final jump. All right, let's see if we have a video of this. Motorcycle Legends 14 bus jump. Let's check it out. Here we go. Bring that up. Let's go big, baby. Come on. Here he goes. Now, I'm sure he made this one. This is his last jump. Come on. What an idiot. Everybody used to jump over their friends on their bikes. I certainly did. I'm sure you guys did as well. But man, the first time I did it, I was so terrified. I jumped over one kid, Michael Hagedorn. And I used my brother's bike because I think mine was kind of fucked up and he was at camp and what he doesn't know is not going to hurt him. And I went so fast because I was so terrified of killing my friend that when I landed on my back tire, the back tire I cleared him by a country mile, but that back tire just was demolished when I hit the concrete. But that was fun. Oh, look. Yeah. You're sizing it up, Evil. Come on, you fucking showman. Fuck. Just do it. Just do it, you shithead. You fucking glory hound. Racist fuck. Here we go. Come on, Evil. Fucking, this is it. It's curtains, bitch. Why even have the buses there? Big deal. Anybody could do that. Just put this idiot. I'm just saying. I know who the heroes are. Okay. I've jumped on bikes that were super heavy, not lightweight, with crazy suspension, says Serve. Yeah, that's cool. All right, hang on. Where did it go? Would Evil even work today? I think he may have been a product of his time. Yeah, I'm sure that's true. A lot of Jaffe's heroes were racist. John Wayne. I was. Look, I'm old, but I ain't that old. John Wayne was before my time. I certainly did not. I did not worship at the altar of the Duke. I didn't know him that well, although I did kind of take issue when he laid into the woman who went up to accept who's the actor? Marlon Brando's Alexa, stop. Marlon Brando's Oscar. He sent up this Native American woman as a protest, and John Wayne, who pretty much made his money and his fame by, portraying characters that killed Native Americans, was like, that's not right. Shut up, you fucking idiot. That's what I would say. CM Punk sighting. Oh, you're watching. Is Mania on yet? Have they started? Have you ever seen BTS of the Terminator 2 stunt? No, but listen. I had this dream last night, and this is not going to be one of those dreams that bores people. I'm not going to get into details because it's not interesting, but this part, I was basically in Terminator 2, and I was with a couple other people that they changed. Sometimes it was like a friend, sometimes it was both my kids. They kept changing who it was with. But we were being chased by the Terminator, and it was a long, epic dream. It was like, I woke up and I was like, they should make a Terminator cross-country movie, because that's what it was. We were driving across country trying to escape the goddamn cockadoo Terminator. It was a lot of fun. It was really fucking fun. I enjoyed that dream. John Wayne, says Gravedigger. He says, you haven't watched much John Wayne. That's not accurate. Yes, I'm not talking about the characters he played. I'm not talking about Rooster Coughlin and what was the movie he made with she talked on Kate Hepburn, where she and he were trying to get a bunch of liquor down the river on a raft. That was excellent. I'm not saying he didn't make some good motion pictures. You can say they glorified Native Americans, but he played cowboys that shot a bunch of fucking Native Americans. Don't tell me that they never had cowboys and Indians in his movies, because I've seen them. But John Wayne, yeah, as Ravno says, as a human, he was a racist guy. He was. My dream was more T2. Do I like T1 or T2? I mean, yeah, it's a hard one. I would say the brilliance about the brilliance of the Terminator 1 and 2 motion pictures are that they don't feel like 1 and 2 in a lot of ways. I know they are, but if you just said it's Terminator and you somehow edited those together in some way where it would be, I think it would be great. So, but I mean, if I had to choose, I mean, I think Terminator 1 is probably it was the first one. It was a more interesting story, but I think the spectacle and the thrill ride of 2 was insanely beyond anything at the time. The Rock is getting canceled. Yeah. Look at the John Wayne Playboy interview. That's true. Why is The Rock getting canceled? If you win another DICE award, will you send a Native American to protest? I will never win another DICE award, but if I did, I would, just for the fucking fun of it. I probably wouldn't send a Native American, but I would send I don't know, some group that I think is being, you know, picked on is what I would do. I mean, I'm not saying they're not being picked on, but you know, anyway. You liked his role in American History X? John Wayne went in that movie. That was a great movie, though. That was a great fucking movie. Tell you what. I own Terminator Resistance Calzone. I have not played it. You know what I finally bought yesterday? It's on sale. There's a bunch of games on sale right now on Steam. I picked up Coaster Planet or Planet Coaster. Not because I want to build any. I just want to ride other people's thrill rides. Jaffe could get a YouTube award once we get him past 100K. Yeah, I think they mail you that though. The Rock won't endorse Biden again. No, it's fine. He's not going to, I don't think he's going to endorse Trump. I don't care. I don't give a fuck who these people vote for. Vote for whoever the fuck you want. I mean, I don't think Trump's going to win, but you know, you can believe that if you want. Jeff, do yourself a favor and watch Hondo. Is that the goddamn John Wayne movie? Morningstar says, I'll only vote for Jaffe. Thank you, sir. I would never get into politics, though. It would break my heart. It's too fucking corrupt. And I don't think you can actually do anything unless you compromise to such a degree that it negates the reason you got in the first place. Fupi says The Rock is a terrible actor. He's garbage. Well, kind of. But he's not an actor. He's not, I mean, he's made some movies where he's tried to act. He's a performer. He's an entertainer. If you go to a movie with The Rock and you think you're getting, you know, I don't know, Dustin Hoffman level of performance, you've probably wasted your money. Maybe he's capable, but yeah, he just plays The Rock, you know, that's what superstars tend to do. I might be out of the loop, says Drew, but just a heads up that the subject line on emails when these streams go live say Gabbin and Games is playing some Atomic Hearts. There are emails? I didn't even know there are emails when this thing goes live. I'll look into it. Thank you, buddy. JFK 24. Oh, I like Jeff Daniels as Rooster Cogburn too. That was a great movie that they remade. What was that one called? The one with the girl in Hawkeye, Kate Bishop, Haley Statfeld or whatever. The Coen brothers did it. You know what it was called. I can't remember. This is awful. I'm starting to forget names, man. This is bad. It was the goddamn Western. I can see the poster in my mind's eye. What's it called? Breakin' 2 or something? What the fuck was that movie called? I'm not even gonna look at the chat. I'm gonna remember this on my own. Fuck you, motherfuckers. It's called Getting Old. It really is. The processor breaks down, boys. That's okay. It happens. What's it called? Oh, you shitheads. Come on now. There's Jeff Daniels and Haley, and there's somebody else on the poster. Oh, fuck me. I'm not going to remember it right now. But regarding Kennedy, here's the problem with Kennedy. And all of these almost ran people. Because you saw it with Ron Paul. Was that the older one? Not the son, but the older guy. You see it with Kennedy. You saw it a little bit with Ross Perot back in the day. It's just fun. You know, is that there's always one area where they're so fucking batshit off that it's like, dude, could you just not? Why does that have to come with you? Why does the crazy have to come with you? Right? It's not that I think RFK is a bad guy, but just some things you hear him talk about, like, you know, vaccines. And even when you call it on him and he tries to backtrack and it's like, dude, you said it, here's the clip. It just, yeah, I mean, trust me, all these guys lie, but I don't think, you know, I get supporting the guy that really feels more like he's your values and stuff. And I've been there. I'm not there with RFK, but I appreciate and respect that feeling. But I also think, though, that when is somebody going to run that's like that actually isn't 20% out of their fucking minds with some of their shit? That would be nice. That would be nice. I mean, hell, we've already got Trump. We've already got a candidate running who's just sitting up there lying about everything. Come on now. What is the name of the movie? She hires the guy to kill the guy. Oh, come on. I can tell you what the set looks like. True Grit. Awesome, Tatum. Thank you, buddy. Of course. God damn it. Why did I have to look? I don't know who killed JFK, says Stoner Joe, but it had something to do with Stoner Joe Productions. You know what, Stoner Joe? No. Enough. No, it didn't. Why don't you call in, Stoner Joe? Somebody call in. I want to talk to somebody. Here, I'm going to put it up on the screen. Why can't I pin a goddamn thing on here? Why is that not allowing me to do that? Here you go. Jill Stein is saying DNC is powerful. I mean, I agree with you there. I mean, Bernie should have gotten the nomination back in the day, so I don't fucking know. Gun for Hire is not the name of the movie, you son of a bitch. How tall am I? Well, okay, I was 5'7" for the longest time, since I was like 16. But I recently had a physical, and the doctor says now I'm 5'5". So I'd like to think she's wrong, but she's probably not. What if there's a plot twist? JFK faked his death. I mean, he was probably killed by our government. Probably. It's probably true. Probably true. But I don't know that for sure. I am short. I don't care. This is what you have to understand. This is why I'm the only alpha you probably know. Is because I am balding. I am short. Even though I'm on Ozempic right now, I'm still currently overweight. None of these things hit my confidence. Now, that may be because I'm absolutely living in deep denial. But it's also apathy about the things that you think are important, I find trivial and silly. That's probably what it is. But maybe not. Oh, Steph McMahon's coming out? Oh, shit. All right, here we go. This is a Rathizzle. Let me put him up on the show here. A Rathizzle, how are you, buddy? You're on with me. Nope. I don't know what that means. We're done. I mean, there's nothing fun about that. Was that supposed to be fun? Bernie helped Trump win by not backing out. Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know. No, I'm not having any trouble getting Ozempic. But I'm on it for pre-diabetes. I imagine if you are on it for weight loss, even though that's what I'm hoping happens as well and is happening. Stoner Joe says he was dying for help. Yeah. Calling for help. That's called being black-pilled, Jaffe. I didn't say no, Mr. K. He says everything's meaningless and hopeless, right? No, I don't think everything is hopeless. I'm not negative. I'm a big fan of life. I even love humanity, even though I think there's a lot of people who are, their behavior is shit. No, it's not apathy because I think something's bad. I don't care about a lot of things. You do get Ozempic for pre-diabetes, Brad. What do you know more than the doctors do? Those drugs were originally created for people who were diabetic. Being positive in the face of negativity is a virtue, says Brad. Yeah, I don't even know if I'm just saying it's like, maybe because I'm 52 and I've had a lot of the things that society says are valuable, right? And some of them are and some of them aren't. So I've gotten to be married. I enjoyed it until I didn't. I've gotten to have kids and raise kids, and I'm still raising kids, and it is the greatest. It's exactly what I signed up for. It is the absolute best thing I ever did in my life. I adore it. I've gotten to own companies. Wasn't what it was cracked up to be. I've done this, I've done that, so now that it doesn't mean my life is over. I really want to make a go of this streaming thing, right? I want this to work, but I guess the older you get and the more experience you have getting the things that marketing and society and PR tells you want, you realize more often than not, it's not accurate and it's just a grift. And so a lot of the things like, oh no, you're balding. I mean, think about that. Think about caring about being balding. What you're really saying is that the reason you don't want to be bald is because you want a woman, if you're or a man, if you're a gay man. Well, there's nothing wrong with wanting companionship, whether it's just intimacy, emotional, physical, or ideally, if that's what you're looking for, both. But imagine a woman that could be totally into you if you just had a full head of fucking hair. What a shallow idiot. Why do you want to be with that person? And if you're like, yeah, but she's hot, then go get a fucking sex worker, man. That's a sure thing. It's a sure thing. I don't get it. Brad Glasgow says, as of April 1st, most insurance companies require medical records to prove a patient has type 2 diabetes. Well, my insurance company doesn't. My doctor prescribed it, and I'm off to the races. Okay. I don't miss the barbershop. Oh my God, that's the best Beats game. You just bzzz, that's it. All right, let me bring this up here. Arath Islam, I'm going to try one more time, buddy. Hang on. All right.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. What the fuck was that about? What the fuck calling in here, disrespecting me, talking about Alvin from Alvin and the goddamn Chickmunks?
Listen, my microphone doesn't initialize sometimes. It's a tech issue. You know how it is.
Alexa, remind me to give a shit about Arathizel's personal life. All right, what's up, baby?
I wanted to find out if you watched the Daily Show on artificial intelligence or not with Jon Stewart.
I watched a segment of it, but I didn't watch the whole thing. And then I also saw a headline that said that one of the reasons he kind of cut ties with Apple was telling him, you can't cover this. I thought it had to do with China, but no, I didn't watch enough. Most of what I watched wasn't really about AI. So tell me what you want to, what about it? What did you see that you feel is worth talking about?
Yeah. So some of the things that were mentioned in that thing, especially the Apple thing, is the consolidation of the AI algorithms. All these big companies are buying up all the smaller ones that own the technology that are doing the algorithms. That doesn't lead to good outcomes. That is the biggest danger of AI. Not like it taking people's jobs or like replacing the artist or whatever that is. Which I love your arguments there. Like it's just a tool. It's a tool. It'll help you if you're an artist, right? But it's the consolidation aspect. So if you can't get your hands on the tools, if you can't, as an individual, get your hands on the best tools, if you don't have access, then you don't play. Sure.
I mean, I think that's if you look at something like, is it called Sora, the text to video AI, and you look at that and you don't think that's going to disrupt the fuck out of the motion picture and television business, you're a fucking moron. And so it would not surprise me if the Warner Brothers and the Universals and their parent companies move in and go, we want to own this, or we want to make sure that we only get this or whatever. I mean, I'm assuming that's what you're talking about, correct?
Exactly. Yeah. So they recognize on a level that the individual does not, and definitely not the politics, don't recognize that they can monopolize this stuff and make it so that you don't play. You don't
I don't think, unless they shut the internet down, I don't think that's going to be possible. I think they are going to be able to monopolize, at least financially, and say, if you don't pay, you don't play. The stuff that's top of the line, or the stuff that has licensed the art that people really want. But I think just like anything else, there will be indies that use it, and maybe it won't look as good. Just like, $250,000 indie movie is never going to look as good as a $300 million Marvel movie, but it can still, as we've seen in film, be evocative and important and impactful and meaningful. Sure. But I don't think we're going to lose that. But I think you're absolutely right. I mean, I'll give you an example. I was putting together literally the thumbnail for this very show, which I'll put up right now. I'll lose you, but it doesn't matter. So I went to two sites. I went to the one that Microsoft has on Bing, and I went to DALL-E 3 on ChatGPT. And both of them, and I was just like, okay, first I just wanted to have, I said, give me a 16-bit, video game looking redneck shooting a gun into the sky, and there's poop all over the walls. And then I was going to put in emojis of poop, and it was like, you're shooting the shit. Okay, fine. It wouldn't do it. Neither one. So then I said, okay, let me change it from shit to chocolate. Wouldn't do it. Then I said, okay, maybe it's the gun. Let me get rid of the gun. It wouldn't do it. And I think it was because it knew if I wanted chocolate splattered all over the walls, I was trying to basically make it draw shit. And that was you could get away with that in the past, like with blood and stuff. You could say, oh, I want it to be red jam, and it would work. And now they've kind of learned. Okay. So even that though, I was like, motherfuckers, this has become a G-rated piece of shit. So I agree. I mean, it's like if they were to say, hey, if you want unlimited AI creation, not a problem. Instead of $12 a month, it's $18 a month. But I mean, that's capitalism, right? That's what we all signed up for, I suppose.
So what do you feel about, not only do they own the algorithms and it's pay for play, but the algorithms themselves push the consumers towards the content that they want to get pushed. In other words, they know what you like. They play you like a fiddle. And so the indie content never gets up to the top. It never sees the light of day. Even if the internet's wide open, it's because the AI algorithms are sitting there pushing, oh, you paused a video. Hey, I know you like this at 3:00 in the afternoon. You're more likely to order a pizza. Boom, here's your pizza. Right.
Sure. I mean, that's mostly, I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem if they limit things, but they're always going to do that. And I think just like anything else, I mean, look, the money is what controls everything. And it's always up to the independents to find the next clever way to make some noise to get their stuff noticed. That's not a new thing. It's transition to deal with AI, but if you just take movies and comics and music, right? I mean, the internet showed up and allowed indie artists to actually be able to make a bit of a living, whereas before it was almost impossible, right? But now it's like, oh, you're on Spotify, you can have a worldwide fan base of only 10,000 people, but you can make money off that. So I think there's always a way that these artists will or creators will push their stuff to the top. But at the same time, though, if you're opposed to that, then I'm assuming you're also opposed to the way it's always been, which is even if you go to the grocery store, you buy what you buy at the grocery store in part because, Nabisco has spent more money on end caps to put their shit on the edge of the aisle than deeper into the aisle. I mean, all of it is that. So it's not that I like it necessarily, but I don't have a solve to it unless, again, I don't know. That's what I would say.
What do you think about like entertainment as, the reason why there's more nostalgia for older entertainment, 20, 30 years ago is because everybody saw Friends. Everybody watched Friends, and now that's not a thing anymore, right? So like everybody saw the weekly episode of Friends. That's what you talked about at work. What do you see what Chandler did this week or whatever?
Oh, he's a nut, that Chandler.
Yeah, that Bing. But
could he be any nuttier? You get it.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. But that was a thing, right? And now it's like, well, now I like socks with cat ears, and no one else likes that. And how do you bring that up in a conversation? And
well, a lot of people like that. They may be your online buddies, but there are, the fact that we are sitting here, realistically 130 people on a Sunday deep, just shooting the shit, and you're not somewhere else. It doesn't negate the fact that probably a hell of a lot more people are watching WrestleMania.
Oh, true.
Or that and this. But, I think if somebody were to say, you have to go back to the days of only 3 major networks and everybody had the same frame of reference, or, but everybody had the same frame of reference, or you have unlimited choice, but you're not going to have as many people dipping into that specific zeitgeist. The zeitgeist has been compartmentalized. I would still take the latter because the ability for people to find their tribe and to feel included and not have to feel like you have to conform just to be social, I think has been an incredible joy. is what I would say.
So if somebody is programming an algorithm for AI, for example, to do what you just said about Nabisco, right? Somebody's goal, and it is their goal, trust me, is to get everybody to buy the same tile or the same burger or the same pizza. And that's what they're using AI for. Is that a negative in your estimation?
I don't think so. No. But,
Okay.
but I'm not saying only because if we had better media literacy in public schools, I would be even less concerned about it. But frankly, if you buy Nabisco Nilla wafers versus, a mom and pop vanilla Nilla wafers, and you can't tell the difference, or it's not a big enough a difference for you to buy Nabisco and go, oh, those are bad, I'll buy these from the mom and pop store, then who really cares? I mean, ultimately, you either build a bit bigger mousetrap or you don't. That's the system that we currently live in. And if Nabisco is good enough and they have the volume to make it cheap enough, then it's up to the creators of new products to go above and beyond, so that, yeah, they may have to charge more and you may have to look for it, but people can't stop talking about it. That's how it works. That's how it's always worked.
All right, cool. Thanks.
All right, man. Thanks for 1,000 little bit. There he goes. Off into the night. The human brain is so malleable, says Black Rider. This podcast shows us the danger. You got to be specific. You know what I hate? Hate it when people come in comments and they do a blanket comment with no specifics. And people are always like, Jeffy always wants examples. Yeah, because otherwise you get to come in and say something that people might applaud and believe, like the human brain is so malleable. This podcast shows us the danger. You may be right, but I need examples. Otherwise you're just talking. You're just talking. Helldiver, tis Jaffe. What is up, champion?
Hello, can you hear me?
Mm-mm.
Oh, come on, don't mess with me like that, brother.
Look what I did.
I have a question though. So I do have to be honest with you. Helldivers, I mean, hey, by the name of my, you know what I mean?
I love Helldivers. It's great.
Do you think that this game is one of the few games in the past, like, I don't know, 5-10 years to really bring together a big community of gamers in such a long time and make it a strong bond?
No. But I think it's wonderful, and it is doing that. But I think you can look at, Pal World did it in the last 10 years. Certainly Fortnite did it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But I think it's certainly maybe one of the first console games. I'm trying to think. Maybe that's wrong. I mean, Halo, you could argue, but that's been more than 10 years. But yeah, I mean, Sony, the real interesting thing here is going to be the lessons Sony takes from this. And I don't know what lessons to take from this. Do you go, shit, Jim Ryan was right about all of his service games, we shouldn't have canceled what we did? Or is it like, I'm glad we canceled what we did because this game actually is working and they're doing things the other games weren't. So now we can learn to do that. Like, I don't know. It's so hard to learn from success versus failure that I don't know what you take from this, but I think it's wonderful that they have it.
I personally think that the reason why it's working so well is because it's all about togetherness and working with other people to make a strong bond and fight for democracy. I don't know if you've seen it, but have you seen the canceled Spider-Man game where you could play with other Spider people?
Yeah, I was not interested in that at all. I thought it was really uninteresting, but yes, I did see it.
I personally think that if that game did come to fruition and was, finished and everything, that shit would have been awesome sauce, man.
Why would it have been more awesome sauce than Avengers or Suicide Squad? I mean, it was just another PvE with interesting navigation, right? I
mean, I feel like the combat well, to be fair, I haven't played Avengers in like a few years now.
Yeah.
So I dropped the game. Okay, to be fair, I didn't buy it. I got it for free. And I didn't get Justice League or Suicide Squad. But I think that game would be better because that game is better overall. Spider-Man 2 is just a better game than those two, I feel like, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the Spider-Man 2, you're absolutely right. But if you're talking about taking the combat from Spider-Man 2 and putting it into a co-op open world environment where you can swing around with your friends and fight a bunch of enemies, and again, I'm sure the game would have been more than that, but that's kind of all we got to judge.
The bare bones, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just like, based on that, and again, that's a terrible thing to base it on because it wasn't meant for public consumption. But if you are just basing it on that, I'd go, I'm not really all that interesting. That's kind of boring. But I do think Helldivers is a little different from a standpoint of things that I never saw in the trailer, right? So they weren't communicating either in the Helldivers trailer about the way the game was balanced or about the necessity of teammates and the way that you use them, about kind of the living world where there's actually a narrative that's changing based on how the whole community is playing, which I think is incredibly interesting and cool. None of that was shared. Now, maybe they assumed if you care about this, you played Helldivers 1. Maybe they did a bunch of that in the first one. So
I never even heard of this game franchise until
So I think most people, it was the first one was kind of a cult. It was a success, but it wasn't like, everybody's heard about it. So I looked at the first one and I made a video going, this may be great, may be bad, but the trailer just looks super generic. And it did.
I was uninterested when the trailer dropped. I was watching the Game Awards. I think it was when that was shown. I'm like, oh, another shooting alien game like Destiny 2, Defiance. Okay, I'm gonna definitely skip that and wait until the next big game comes out. But my friends are getting it. I'm like, okay, let me look. Oh shit! Okay, only $40. A lot of new games nowadays, $60, which is pretty reasonable, right? $70 now is like where it's trying to push it. Like, come on, almost 80 and then 100.
No, they played it just right. I was like, this should be free. This should be PS Plus, and these guys again. All I have are opinions like everybody else. Sometimes they're more educated based on experience, but other than that, I don't fucking know. Somebody there had the right idea to sell this fucking thing for $40. Whereas I was just like, this is stupid. It's a multiplayer only game. Why don't you just maybe sell one copy for 40? And that comes with like 6 months of PS Plus where it's free or something.
I think if the game was free, then it would have been jam packed with microtransactions. If you just get the game $40, that's it. All you do is have
it was made a better game. Yeah, but they had to know this game is good enough, even though it's not really showing in the trailers, that if we charge for it, there'll be enough success that it's worth it, that we can risk the fact that our player count may be low because you've got to buy it, unlike something like a Fortnite. So, but yeah, they played it absolutely just right. And I do want to get back to it. I saw somebody in the chat saying, Jaffe, you should play it more. And
dude, you should definitely get back on that game.
I've only played it once.
We're taking back a bunch of the automaton planets and the Terminator planets. You have to get back on there, man. Stream it.
I'm not even aware of I know what that means because I see the headlines, but like there is kind of a narrative happening at a communal level, right? Like depending on how, it's pretty cool.
So the automatons are the little robot dudes, right? And we're fighting back. They're like the cyborg descendants and shit. We're fighting those bitches back, and then the Terminators are just big ass bugs. Rawr! So I have to go into their planets, take their like juices, use it as oil or 07 or 710 or some shit, right? Boom, boom, boom. We got pushed back a little bit on the Terminator planets because they have a new Screecher variant where they can fly now. But we took care of that. Of course we will. We're Helldivers. Come on now. We took those guys down. We're pushing them back. We have over 500,000 players just on PlayStation alone right now.
Okay, but what do you think it's going to be like when you first have sex with a woman? Are you nervous?
No.
Thank you for calling, Helldiver. I appreciate it, buddy.
Hey, you too, man. Keep it real, brother.
Yep. Listen to this. This is from Shadowrun. Jaffe, your old self brought us Sweet Tooth and Kratos. See, this is what's wrong with you. Your current is like the newer Howard Stern. Well, first off, I like Howard Stern old and Howard Stern back in the day. But the problem, and I refuse, fellas, I refuse to play this game where woke now means something else than what it actually means. Or if I want to communicate with the internet generation, I have to dumb down what I say. If you think, let's put it this way. If I were to make God of War again, or Sweet Tooth or Twisted Metal again, it would be assuming I would have the ability to. That's a different discussion. It would be just as overtly sexual, just as violent, just as bloody as the old games. I've never said anything but the minute you defend the freedom of other people to say, I don't like that kind of stuff, or I don't want to make that kind of stuff, which I do defend, then suddenly it means you have to hate what they are pushing back against. Why aren't people capable of nuance? It's not even nuance. I'm not want to talk like I'm some kind of fucking New York intelligentsia. I'm just saying it's not black and white. Is that so hard? I can define woke. I defined it on my video. It's and I can define it for you now, but it's basically the term that was coined in the African American community, I think in the 90s, and it meant you were aware of and supportive of things like social justice and doing the work, putting in the work to stay aware of the fact that there's a lot of stuff that's subversive, and you need to be aware of it so you can support the change. And that's all it means. That's what the dictionaries say it means. You know what? That's good enough for me. I don't care. Like Mr. K in the chat is saying, it doesn't mean what it used to mean. Fuck you. It's like people tell me, oh, I say I'm a feminist, or you're not a feminist because it doesn't mean what it used to mean. Fuck you. Then change the definition, because here's the deal. The only thing we have left in a lot of ways is the definition of words. God knows how people use them. Nobody fact checks. People believe whatever you tell them. So if the right wants to change the meaning according to masochistic, fine, then figure out how to do it and change the meaning, and then I'll use a different term. But until that, I'm going to go with what Webster says it means and what history says it means. I'm not going to go with what a bunch of fucking Reddit users tell me it means, because I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. That's not the definition. We don't like people forcing others to make the games the way they want, says Flipsiders. You say developers want to do more progressive games, but just some of them do, and all have to do what they want. Are you out of your mind? Even before Sweet Baby Inc. was a sweet baby. You think everybody who worked on God of War agreed with every decision that I made? Do you think that Sony greenlit every decision I had for God of War? They almost did. It was great, but it wasn't every decision. If you're under the impression that creative work beyond just a single guy painting a picture in his garage or whatever is done by people in this kumbaya kibbutz where everybody gets to do what they want and a game emerges at the end, you're out of your goddamn mind, sir. I love you. I want to make a baby with you. We'll name him Flip Jaffe Jr. But you're still out of your goddamn mind. Because it doesn't work that way. And you've been sold a bill of goods if you think it does. Okay. Okay, but that's different, Cosmic. Cosmic says terrible writing from DEI consultants is ruining games. No, I mean, that's fine, but at least you call it terrible writing. It doesn't matter who they are. If they write poorly, they write poorly. Don't buy their shit. Okay. Someone once told me feminism means women changing tires and taking out the trash. And I was like, hell yeah, I'm a feminist. I mean, yeah, it means equality is all it means. No, it doesn't. It means it. Fuck you. Fuck you. It means equality. That's what it means when people say it. And if it doesn't, then they're idiots. Okay. Let's bring in Ravnos. He has something to say. Well, Fupy, yeah, you're right. Fupy says terrible writing doesn't ruin games. Bad gameplay ruins games. Well, if you're talking about the kind of games they're talking about, I think it's a pretty easy argument to make that if you totally just destroyed the story and characters and performances in a cinematic single player game, there would be an impact. But I get your point though. Great gameplay, because it's a medium of interactivity, can certainly rescue any poor production. Ravnos, what's up, baby?
Oh, not much. I literally flip-flopped 3 times on what to talk to you about.
Staggering how little I care about the brain process that you went through before you called in.
Well, here, okay, let's do something. Let's get something quickly out of the way.
Yeah.
And I don't want to piss you off, and I want to talk about Spider-Man, but
yeah.
Why is it you can use the dictionary definition for woke, but me and CR3D cannot use the dictionary definition for racism?
You can.
Okay, well, the definition of racism.
No, I know what it is, and what I have said about that is that I think that, and maybe it was intentional, I don't know, but I think that the critical race theory people, of which I do believe a great deal of, really stepped in it when they say the definition of racism is this, because, which is to say that it has to do with systemic racism.
Yes.
And I think, right. And I understand their point, and I even understand their tactics, but I don't think they either didn't think it through or they thought it through and didn't care, because ultimately what it did is it put a lot of people on the defense. And maybe what their tactic was their tactic was, well, you're going to question and then we'll be able to explain what racism should really mean. But what they really should have done, maybe, I mean, I'm not an activist with tactic. I don't know what their goal was with that, but even though I do agree with a lot of what they say, but you're right. I think if you say racist these days, I will go out of my way to say, what are we talking about? Can a white person be racist against black people if you're using the Webster's dictionary? Yes, they absolutely can. But can they be racist against black people if you're using the definition that racism?
Well, no, you mean black people against white, because the term that
the
super leftist people say is, you can't be racist against white people. So you've already lost the argument.
And they are absolutely correct if you were using that definition.
You could say you cannot be systemically racist against white because
I don't want to get into it because I'm agreeing with you, but I'm agreeing with you in a different way.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
Yeah, I'm just saying that.
Good. No, I just want clarity.
Yeah. Okay. That's what it is. No, I am absolutely no problem changing my mind and learning new things. But and that's the thing, is just because I've changed my mind and I think it's wrong. I think it's done more harm than good. And again, my mind is open to being changed. That it hasn't, but I do currently think it's done more harm than good to have fucked around with that definition. Whereas in the sense that I think now it makes people, when they hear critical race theory, they won't listen to any of it. And I think there's a lot of important stuff that the critical race theory folks are suggesting we need to pay attention to, but they've already kind of burned that bridge, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's just weird. And see, like you and me, we're the same fucking age. So we grew up where if you disagree with someone, then you probably were curious as to why. You weren't like, oh, you disagree with me? Fuck you, I hate you and everything you stand for. And that's how people are today. That's Twitter.
That's Twitter.
Yeah.
But and yeah, we grew up in a different time. Some was better, some was worse. But we also grew up in a time, at least where I lived, where, you better hope you're not gay or trans or bi or anything out of the ordinary, because you would just be called an F all day long, and people wouldn't like it.
Yep. That was a very common word.
Yeah, so I'm glad it's changed.
I didn't grow up where the other one was common.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So what do you want to talk about Spider-Man?
Yeah, here's why I think it could work and why I think Sony's kind of crazy to just have canceled it. Because number one, Spider-Man's big right now. And not just big with old dudes like you and me. It's big with the younger kids. They love those Spider-Verse movies. Yeah. And there's been a lot of Spider-Man cartoons that were aimed at younger people for a long time now that a lot of adults aren't really aware of. So there's actually a lot of fans of Spider-Man. And it's not just Spider-Man. It's Miles. It's Gwen Stacy, Ghost Spider.
Yeah. No, I get it. I'm a big fan.
There's just so many extended universe Spider characters that I think it could have been a really fun, open world, taking place in a big city, cooperative game. And they could have went so many different routes to monetize it in a not gross way, kind of like what Helldivers is doing, where it's like, yeah, it's monetized, you have to buy it, and there's a battle pass. You don't have to pay.
Okay, sure, but this is Insomniac we're talking about, so clearly they know what they're doing, and either they didn't have anybody on staff that had that vision, or maybe it was going to be too expensive because they weren't willing. Like, if you look at Helldivers is great, but it's also, there's some decent jank in there that I don't think Insomniac, and certainly maybe even Marvel, would say that's okay. So maybe it was a budget issue. Maybe it was an issue of going, we don't currently have any ideas beyond just let's make it a co-op beat 'em up. And it doesn't mean they wouldn't have come up with it, but in the time they had, maybe they just didn't have a differentiating factor other than the license. And, you know, it's not hard to look at Avengers, which was a very well made game at a production level that came out at the height of the Marvel popularity, and see that it bombs.
Well, the
So
thing is,
I'm not saying you can't make a multiplayer Spider-Man game that would be great. You could.
you know, Avengers, the reason it bombed, which it kind of actually, it did technically, because Square Enix was so stupid with how much money they put in that thing. I don't know what they're thinking, but actually, if you look at the initial sales of it before, like, everybody turned on it, went, "Oh, this is dumb. Like, why in the hell?" It was the way they built the game. They had this really cool, like, 3 to 5 hour story, and then it was just, hey, just keep fighting in these same areas, and oh, you're playing as the Hulk. Cool. Well, you got to keep fighting so you can get a better skeleton. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was stupid.
That was
No, it
their
was terrible.
gear. It was dumb. Whereas, like, if they would have just not done the loot game in a Spider-Man co-op game, made it more of like, I don't even know. I don't want to say Helldivers, because Helldivers is a third-person shooter shooting bugs, but they could have done something to where it was more cooperative and less just let's go through a dungeon and get loot. You know what I'm saying? Like open.
Yeah, again, I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm saying for whatever reason, they didn't feel they had it. And so I don't
Do you
think
think it
the
was
argument,
Insomniac, or was it we're getting rid of Jim Ryan, we're getting new management, we're going to shift partially away from this live service thing, because they saw what was happening with Suicide Squad and went, oh fuck, gamers.
I think this was canceled well before Suicide Squad, though.
Was it?
Yeah.
See, I don't know. I didn't read the leaks. I just saw what people put
But regardless, though, again, I don't, you know, I think it makes sense that they would go, okay, let's pull the plug on Twisted Metal, right? Which they did, because the brand isn't what it used to be. The TV show was big for what it was, but it's no Spider-Man. Or let's pull the plug on this thing that's a brand new IP that may or may not be working, blah, blah, blah.
Doesn't that kill you, though?
No, because that's how.
Not because you create it, but because there's nothing on the market right now that is a Twisted Metal.
I understand, but you keep coming. You've come at both of these discussions as if you think simply making it will work, right? But I've always struggled moving forward with Twisted Metal, going, how do you make it engaging for a modern audience that has a much greater expectation of motion and abilities with their character, whether it's a car or not? And just like Spider-Man, they could have been struggling going, okay, we agree with Ravnos, which is we want to do something that's not just a looter shooter with Spider-Man, but we haven't solved that yet. And so it could have just been, it's like, well, guys, you know, it's a good idea. Go back to the drawing board. We're going to put this money into Spider-Man 3 or a new Ratchet or a new IP, and let's repitch this in 6 months or 10 months or whatever. I don't think anybody would disagree that the concept of a online co-op Spider-Verse game could be cool, but clearly it wasn't there yet.
It's just so weird.
It's hard to do. It's not you can't just will it and say, I want to make a game as good as Helldivers.
I know you can't just go, hey, what if we make a game and it's this? Okay, awesome. It's going to sell a bajillion. No, because a lot of times it doesn't. But it just, I look at the market and I'm like, I see a lot of people, not even that are not subscribers, not in Discord, not in your chat. They are always talking about, we need a game like Twisted Metal. We need a game like Twisted Metal. And the problem is, every time something even close to it comes out, it's always such a letdown, like that destruction.
Yeah, but it's the same, and that's what would happen with SOCOM. This is the problem: is
SOCOM is never as big as people pretend.
You have to allow, you have to be able to sort of take your nostalgia glasses off.
Yeah,
and you can say there was a feeling that SOCOM gave me, or there was a feeling that Twisted Metal gave me, and I want to recapture that, and that's great. That's more doable. But if all you're doing is going back and saying, let's remake those games with new graphics and they'll be the same experience, there's plenty of evidence to suggest that's not the case, which means if someone pitches it to you and they don't come to you with mechanics and new ideas that are like, oh yeah, that's a great twist that would make it totally appealing to people who've never heard of SOCOM or Twisted Metal, then you're in business. But my guess is same with Spider-Man multiplayer. That hasn't happened with SOCOM, Twisted, or Spider-Man.
I look at Twisted Metal, and remember, you've talked about this several times. One of the problems that you didn't realize was that people were really invested with the character paired with that one vehicle. So when it became the, hey, you can switch in that, that's where everything kind of fell apart. So essentially Twisted
Kind
Metal
of. I mean, that's not that was the initial, we don't like this, but if the internet stuff would have worked, even though they still wouldn't have liked that, the game probably would have been quite successful because it was good.
I like to look at a game and see, okay, break it down to its most basic parts. What is it? I look at Twisted Metal and it's a hero shooter, but you're not a hero. You're a car. You literally aren't playing the character. You're controlling a car. There's a story about who's driving it, but who's really driving it is the player. So like, you're like, Sweet Tooth, he's a clown. It's like, okay, but the player doesn't play
it's
Sweet
the
Tooth
car.
the clown. Yeah.
Right.
So it's like, why wouldn't they think of how do we make a hero shooter with vehicles? And
it's not that they don't. It's always been a hero shooter with vehicles. The problem is you have that weird line between what is, the more you give it abilities to move, which is in unique ways, which is what players want when they've come up with Call of Duty and Fortnite, where you can jump and hang and glide and all this. The more you make the cars do that, the less they feel like the fantasy of cars. And so at that point, you're like, why not just fucking make a hero shooter? Like, what are you going to do if you're going to commit to making them stay within reason, like cars? They never were like realistic physics or anything, but they looked and felt like cars. If you're going to hold on to that, then you better have something to replace the lack of mechanical, or at least motion mechanical fidelity that you get in other shooters. And we tried that with 12 by doing it with modes, but most people don't want to learn new modes. They want to just play team deathmatch. So that didn't work. So I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm saying there are a lot of challenges besides just the elevator pitch of make a new Twisted Metal. Anyway. All right, buddy. Thank you for calling, Ravnos.
Yep.
Talk to you later, bud. All right. There he goes off into the evening. Okay. Yeah. There's a game called Crossout. There's a game called, Diesel or something, which is a PvE, which is not really, it's car combat, but it's not in the same way. All right. Well, look, fellas, that's it. I'm going to go watch some WrestleMania, go hang out with the kid, eat some foodstuffs. I'll be back all week with streams and videos and all that good stuff, tweets, my life on the internet. That's what I do. That's what I love. But thank you guys for hanging out with me today. Thank you for spending some time with me today. I sure do appreciate it. And be well, be safe, and consider a subscription, a membership, YouTube, Patreon, wherever you want to spend your ducats. I would appreciate it. Regardless, though, the bigger thing. I will switch to a new vocation in Dragon's Dogma. Absolutely. Be well, everybody. Be safe. And I'll see you guys real soon. Bye. Hey, I'm still there. That's not the same screen. I don't know what I'm looking at anymore. Come on. Where's the screen? This thing's so confusing. Only if you're an idiot, Chappie. Shut up. All right. See you guys later.